awesome. Week 3, we get to see this again. Kansas City Chiefs at the Baltimore Ravens. They're back again. Last year, the Chiefs beat the Ravens. It was by far Lamar Jackson's worst game. It was not even close. And statistically, he bounced back at the end of the game with like 2 lucky prayers that actually saved his stats a little bit, but it should have been way worse. So he graded in the 30s against Kansas City. All that said, I can see the spreadsheet. I see who you're picking here. Vegas has Baltimore by 3.5. They're at home. And Kansas City is coming off of 2 games where they pulled away from the Houston Texans, but it was different. It was the run game. It wasn't the pass game. They just went to overtime against the Chargers and rookie Justin Herbert. I think everybody thought that Kansas City was the best team in the league coming in, right? They're coming off the Super Bowl, Mahomes at quarterback. Have they lost a little luster?
I thought Baltimore was the best team in the league.
So you're just sticking to it. You're sticking with Baltimore all the way, right?
Now, it is interesting. Like, this is a fascinating game because I think you're right. What the most interesting thing is that they gave Lamar Jackson his toughest game. On the other hand, and the weird thing is, so Kansas City, when they've struggled, it's been the same scenario, right? It's the Chargers and the 49ers in the Super Bowl who have been able to actually rattle Patrick Mahomes and cause him problems and slow down that offense. And it hasn't been quite enough because late in the game, you lapse for a play, and that's all you need to do against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, and they beat you for the big score. And
that's all you have to do.
Now you're done, right? But I actually think that fundamentally the right way of attacking them is the Ravens way, not what we've seen from the 49ers and the Chargers. Not that that's not the right way, but I think that's just most teams aren't even capable of coming close to that, right? You need an insane ability to pressure with just 4 to get anywhere near that, and most teams don't even have a prayer. The Ravens, on the other hand, I think is an easier thing to achieve in terms of the pressure is easier to get because you scheme it up. You're just confusing their protection packages. Like everything the Ravens do with creepers and with blitzing and with all those things up front, it's designed to mess up protection calls, right? And just cause confusion and win because guys are not where they should be or the blocking is screwed up and you get free rushers. That's a way easier way of winning in pass rush than it is beating all-pro linemen like Mitchell Schwartz, right? That's a tougher ask. If you've got a Joey Bosa, you might get some joy, but it's still pretty rough going. So that part is easier. And then I still believe that the single biggest fundamental advantage you have in trying to beat the Chiefs is ball control on your side of the ball and just keep that offense off the field as much as humanly possible.
Oh, here we go.
And when they get on the field, you just need one stop. If you can get one stop, now you can keep them off the field for like almost a whole half and frustrate them and start them feeling some pressure that they actually need to score the next time they come out in the field. And I think the Ravens are better equipped to do that than anybody. So
the Chargers did that to a point. They had some long drives
and that's
in there.
That's why they ran it close, right? But I think the Ravens, that's what they do week in, week out. Like that's their game, right? They don't need to change anything is what I'm saying to have the best game plan to attack the Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean, I think because we've seen 2 weeks of essentially Ravens dominance and 2 weeks of Kansas City, not feeling as powerful as they have in recent years. Like, let's also not forget, this happened with Kansas City last year. Mm-hmm. They lost to the Indianapolis Colts on Sunday Night Football. They lost to the Lions, right? Did they lose to the Lions? They lost early on. I mean, they showed weakness at points, and then they lost Mahomes to injury. So this stuff happens, right? You don't just dominate all 16 games all the time. So it's not like we're writing them off. I think what I'm wondering is where is the aggressiveness of the Kansas City offense? I couldn't believe the number that I saw the other day. Patrick Mahomes only 6.5% of his attempts 20-plus yards. That is near the bottom of the league. He's bottom 5 throwing the ball down the field. We saw the best throw of the week was him throwing on the run to Tyreek Hill. Mm-hmm. But this used to be like, we're just doing it. And if you just scored a touchdown and it took you 10 minutes, I don't care. I'm going to put a 75-yarder on you right now. We're going to attack back. It feels a little bit more horizontal, a little bit more controlled, a little bit more Tyreek Hill working horizontal rather than vertically, other than that other deep shot. Is there a reason why Kansas City feels less aggressive? Is it because they drafted a first-round running back?
No. I think they just – I mean, the Chargers have a really good defense.
True.
The front four is insane. You and I both pulled out a very similar chart this week on Twitter that was sort of one of them was blitz rate. I had pressure. You had stun percentage, but the same kind of idea. My one, basically top right is Pittsburgh and Baltimore. They're getting a ton of pressure and they're blitzing a load. But there's also sort of top left, which is you're still getting a lot of pressure, but you're doing it with just 4. You're not blitzing.
Yeah.
And the Chargers are that team. They're the team that's getting a ton of pressure without blitzing a lot at all. And that, I think, in theory, is still what you want to shoot for, being able to get a ton of pressure without having to send extra guys. I don't think it's as simple as it used to be, because I think teams like Baltimore and Pittsburgh are doing it in a sensible way. So it's not like you need to blitz to get pressure and therefore you're exposing yourself. I think they're way more in concert than that used to be as a dynamic. But in theory, I think you still want to be in a situation where you can get pressure without having to send extra guys. And the Chargers can do that. And oh, by the way, on the back end, they have a bunch of Pro Bowlers as well. So they are a really good defense. And I think it kind of makes some sense that they're able to slow down the Chiefs, right? Now, it's still not enough because Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill can just go out there and fire a 50-yard bomb at any given moment, and that's the game. But that, to me, makes sense. And the 49ers was a similar thing in the Super Bowl. Incredibly good defense will give them some problems. So I think overall, against a defense that isn't quite as good as that, we're going to see them let rip a little bit more.
I'm going to be fascinated to see the other side of the ball as well. When Baltimore has the ball, they love to run the ball. Their guards haven't played as well as they have in the past, but they were back to form the other day, 230-plus yards on the ground. Kansas City has the lowest tackling grade in the NFL. Premium Stats 2.0, you go there, they're 29. 29 missed tackles for the Chiefs through 2 games.
It's not good.
That might be the difference there. It's Lamar in space. It's Mark Ingram getting downhill. Marquise Brown after the catch. I think that might be the difference. Kansas City has to tackle better, and whether the run game matters or not, against the Ravens it does. Like, you have to to give yourself a chance, you can't give up 6 a pop. You have to limit them at least a little bit. What are they going to – Derek Nottie has turned into like that really good interior defensive run stopper that we expected coming out of college with no pass rush to it, but like he's the only guy above 70 run defense grade so far for the Chiefs. I mean, Baltimore, we might come out of Monday night being like, Baltimore imposed their will on the Super Bowl champs. We might have that. Am I down on the Chiefs? What am I doing? What am I doing? I mean, we're 3 Mahomes throws away from this being irrelevant.
Yeah.
But I'm just feeling Baltimore right now.
Same.
They're built to stop the Chiefs, to your point.
Agreed. I think the Ravens this season are setting up to be, I mean, they were last season. They had the best record. They were the juggernaut team, and then they got in a hole in the playoffs, and nobody remembers it because the narrative is Lamar can't win the postseason. But this was the most dominant team. Now, okay, the Chiefs lost Mahomes for a bunch of that, so they didn't have, it's not a like-for-like comparison, but the Ravens got better from being a juggernaut last season. I think that this team is teeing up to be just a dominant force this year, and the question is, that's awesome. Now can the Chiefs live with it? Can they match them, and do they get in a hole in the playoffs again? But Baltimore is a dominant team, and I think they are uniquely set up to actually counter what the Chiefs do.
I can't wait to see the cat and mouse game, matching up against Tyreek Hill, matching up against Travis Kelce. Kansas City hasn't gotten much from their other playmakers besides Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And I want to say one positive thing about Kansas City. 4th-round rookie, L'Jarius Sneed, because it makes me look good.
Yeah.
I mentioned him as a potential sleeper. He was a safety at Louisiana Tech last year, was previously a cornerback, and I was thinking, and Mike Renner said the same thing too, let him play outside corner. He had decent grades at outside corner. That's what they've done. He's got a freebie interception, but he had another a decent one on Sunday, pass breakup, 70 grade, 3rd best on the Chiefs defense. So there's some positive energy for the Kansas City Chiefs, but I'm still picking the Ravens in this one.
Same.
You want to get rid of me and get back to more great PFF YouTube content? All you have to do is push that button right there and subscribe. Thanks for watching.